Today I went to a garage sale and I bought this bucket and paid a guy 15 bucks for it. You're probably wondering, why would you pay $15 for a bucket when you go to Home Depot and buy one for $2.50? Because what's under it is what come in it. All these tools. Now, the majority of these tools have a lot of rust all over them. The gentleman wanted to just get rid of them. I made him an offer. He said he'd take it. I brought them home and I'm going to show you how to clean a lot of this rust off these tools, and you'll really know that you've got a bargain. I mean, just at $15, you can see this great big pair of pliers back here. Those got to be very expensive. There's a sledgehammer there, some chisels, some drill bits, files, pliers, a whole bunch of screwdrivers, a lot of wrenches, another hammer here. To me, I never pass a deal up like this because tools are something you can wear out and break easy, and they're very expensive. I do buy some new tools, but this I could not pass up. So today I'm going to show you how we're going to clean a lot of this rust off of these tools and not put a lot of effort into it. And this way they'll be real presentable and usable again. And then we'll also maybe treat them with something to keep it from ever happening again. Before I start, I want to say there's a lot of things you can use to clean rust off of your tools or just about anything that's rusty. You know, you can use muriatic acid, which is very dangerous actually if you're not real familiar with using it. You could hurt yourself. It's toxic. It burns your skin. You gotta wear rubber gloves. Then you gotta neutralize it when you're done. I don't like to go through all that headache. I like to do things simple and easy. My choice is vinegar. You can use even citric acid or something like that, but vinegar is my choice because it's cheap, $2 and something, maybe $2.50 a gallon. And this is what we're going to soak these tools in. So let's get some vinegar and stuff and get busy. A gallon of vinegar. We're going to use a smaller bucket here. I think maybe one of these little Lowe's buckets is better. And we're going to put all the, I think I'll start with the screwdrivers first. They really need to be cleaned. So let me get those in that bucket. I'm going to take these screwdrivers. When I put them in here, I'm going to stand them on their ends. We want to make sure that metal part is down in the vinegar. It works better if they're not laying down and you got the tips into the vinegar. We may even have room for something else besides the screwdrivers. We want to make sure though that every bit of it gets submerged under. So what should we toss in there? Maybe a few of these smaller parts. Here's some drill bits, files. Well, that's a strange looking bit, but we'll toss that in there. Stand up there. This looks pretty rusty. A lot of small stuff here. Let's just toss them in there. How about these chisels? I mean, look at that. That's getting pretty bad. But it's a chisel. You take a beating, toss them around. The reason I'm putting so much in here is I don't want these screwdrivers to fall down. Some bugs out here flying around, those little love bugs. Toss that, a hitch pin. Let's just toss it in there. I think that's probably good because we want some room to move them. Let's just start there. Now we're just going to open this gallon of vinegar up. We're going to start pouring it in there. See what we end up with. What we're going to do is we're going to let this thing set overnight. Just make sure it gets a good cleansing. And I'll come and flip some of it around to make sure it gets submerged. You know, I'm going to add a little bit more to that. Just happen to have two gallons here that I brought out with me. So I was worried about that. Don't worry about getting the plastic handles wet. Vinegar won't hurt them. There we go. And then when we get done with this vinegar, you can use it for other purposes, weed killers and just a number of things. We live down here in Florida. We get a lot of mold and stuff all over the sidewalks and stuff like that. So I may just clean my sidewalks with it when I'm done. Now we'll just set this in here. We'll leave it overnight. We'll come back and then we'll check on it. It's been about 2.5 hours, so I thought I'd come out and check on it. And while I was out here, I thought I would show you the vinegar, how it's turning rusty red. I don't know if you can see that from here with that lighting. But it's definitely dissolving the rust because you can see it in the vinegar. We'll get a little steer around here and kind of move things. Knocks that rust off, and that way there it allows it to eat a new rust. There we go. I was just out here doing some things. If I come over and check on it and show it to you, how quick it's actually starting to take the rust off of there. Well, you can see it. Now see, this is a chrome-plated screwdriver, and where the chrome has been eaten off of here by the rust, it'll always look like that, but you'll get more of it off of there before it's over with, and then we'll treat them. But you can see how it's cleaning it up. There's always going to be a few bad spots on them. They're never perfect. Oh yeah, that one was pretty bad. I can already see it starting to shine again. Let's see this one. Part of it rusted, part of it not, but it's a different rust look. It looks like it's not flaky and it's dissolving down. We'll find out. I'm going to let it sit in there overnight. Just wanted to share that again. Well, it's the next day. We're going to check out these screwdrivers and see how good this vinegar cleaned the rust off of them. Before we do that, I want to get a couple of items here that we're going to use to clean them with. Something to lay them in. A few pieces of old steel wool pads. Just use some scuff pads and a rag. Let's get these a good steer and kind of get everything all shook off of them that'll come off. There we go. This is an old screwdriver. It's a chisel screwdriver. It's got metal here, so you can pound on it with a hammer. Boy, you can see how it took that rust off of there. It's just amazing. Let me see if I can get that a little closer. It had it build up on there really heavy. This is an old screwdriver hammer head because you can just see the way they made it. I don't even know if they make them like this anymore. But I wanted to show that to you. So we're going to take this piece of old steel wool I got here. I'm going to rub it a few times and see if we can't clean a little more off of it. This got a little, I believe this one here is probably made out of a little bit different metal than the screwdrivers. Get a little rinse, shake it off, and what a difference. So let's go ahead and pull something else out of there. Here's an old screwdriver. It's rusted up pretty bad. Let's give it a little polishing with the steel wool. Clean it off because we don't want this stuff on there, even if we rinse them off and use them, because it leaves a little rough texture. The steel wool will smooth it right out. Give it a little rinse there. Look at that. Even where it was rusted really heavy, it left a stain, but I don't feel anything. That's amazing. A little bit of texture right there. I could probably rub that a little more. Rinse it off. Yeah, see, I don't feel it now. But that's amazing for just vinegar. Here's another one. This has got some deep rust that happened to it. Do a little bit of polishing here. Clean it off. You don't have to work too hard on them. See, it took the chrome off, but it's smooth. And these got really good ends on them still for a screwdriver. They usually get rounded off right here. Nice square tips. These are the kind of screwdrivers you want to keep around in case you have to use them a little harder or harsher than a regular screwdriver, because you don't want to damage your good screwdrivers. But I've used these and I've just tapped on the end of them here, you know, to loosen something up, flip it up or something. This way we're not beating on a really good screwdriver end. But yeah, that's nice and square. That looks good. Like I said, this is discolored, but it feels good. Let's how about the old file? Now, these are a little different because they got serrated edges on them, but we can still clean them off. Oh, you can see how a lot of it come off of there. I like to have old files around because I don't like using my good files for certain things I'm doing, so I don't end up damaging them. Sometimes you get these files that are not very sharp because they will wear down. But I've even took these files intentionally, snapped them in half to make a nice short file so I could get into somewhere that I need a file on something without using my good file and breaking it. Let's see a couple of this one was really rusty. You can see how the chrome completely came off of it. Let's give it a little polishing. Discolored it. I can fill it on there a little bit, but it's not the best one. Let's grab something else. Oh, you can see how this one got the chrome peeling right off of it. Look at that. I could literally take the chrome and peel it off my fingers. Chrome's supposed to protect it from rusting. They also make them look pretty, so when you buy them, you'll want the whole set instead of one. But, yeah, this has got a little bit of a dull end on it, but it's smooth. You can see how that vinegar cleans that off of there. Oh yeah, that looks really nice. Another old file. Give this a little bit of rub. You can see this don't even have the sticker wore off of it yet. Oh, I can feel it's a sharp file. You can usually take your finger and rub it and tell it kind of grips your hand. Here's an old chisel. Let's see what we can do with this. There it is. No rough textures. I can't hardly feel it. A little bit of spot. You can take your time and really clean it if you want to. I'm just basically showing you how it works. Oh yeah. Let's pick up this old bit. I was wondering about this thing because it was really rusted. You can see the end of it down here, how bad it was. And then up here. So let's give it a little rub in here and see what happens. This is actually an extension to a drill bit. It's so that you can drill through like really deep walls or whatever it is you're drilling through. Put your bit in here, tighten it down, and it allows you to have this whole length to force the, or actually not force it, but get into where it is you're wanting to get into. Let's clean this, and this end didn't get soaked not too much at all, but we're going to go ahead and clean it. So I'll probably want to put that back in there and try to get it to look more like this right here. Well, I'm not going to stand here and do all these for you because I know it's boring, but I just wanted to show you how you can clean these up. Look at that. And it's not just tools. You can use vinegars on all kinds of stuff. I've used vinegar for cleaning my car parts. It even takes stains out of seats. It will, the smell will fade away. So don't worry about it. A lot of people use it in their clothing when they're washing. There's a difference between using bleach and vinegar whenever you're trying to, say, kill off a virus compared to mold. I believe, if I'm right, bleach will kill viruses, but it won't kill molds. I'm not going to see it exactly. I know that for sure, but I read it somewhere, I thought. But what do I know? Look at that. Okay, we'll clean the rest of these and I'll show you what I'm going to do. Look at this old chisel. You can just see where the rust was built up on it, really heavy. Let's see how good this cleans off. You can always soak these more than once. The longer you soak them, of course, the better they're going to look. If I was doing this with just steel wool without soaking these, I'd be out here working for days trying to get this cleaned off. That's what's so nice about vinegar. I've used vinegar for all sorts of things. Up in here around the head needs to be cleaned off a little bit better. Just give it a little wipes. What we're doing, we're trying to knock off what's loosened up. There we go. Let's take a look at this. Oh, that's come out really nice for an old chisel like that. Pretty good. I went ahead and put all the rest of the tools in the vinegar mixture here. We're going to set this aside. And I took these over and I actually hosed them off and rinsed the vinegar off of it. So what we're going to do is we're just going to scatter them out here and let them dry off. I am going to take a towel and take the most of it off of the excess off of them like this. Just let it dry quicker. And once they're dried, we'll put them back into this container. We'll dry it all out and we'll spray them with some penetrating oil, WD-40 or something like that, to keep them from gathering rust again so quick. They will always gather rust, but this is just a prevent it from happening so fast. You can see how I just took all that big pit of rust right off of there. And keep in mind, this is not just for tools. Anything is rusted. It don't make no difference. I've used it on everything. I used to know a lot of these kind of tricks like this, but unfortunately I'm getting aged, forgetting a lot of stuff, and then on top of that I've actually had a stroke many years ago, which made me forget more than I'll ever learn. But we're just going to wipe them all off here and lay them out, and we'll let that bucket there soak overnight again and see how they come out. Alright, let me get this done. Okay, I've taken laid these out and let them dry out for a while. And now we're going to coat them with some WD-40 or whatever I have, and we'll go out there and look and see what I can find. Well, I did find some WD-40, so what I'll do is I'll just start sticking these back in the basket here. We'll start with the small pieces first. This put like a little coat of oil film on them that you can wipe off pretty easy. Prevent them from start rusting all over again. We're just going to start spraying them like this. Give a little shot. I'm going to reach in here and turn them over. All the sides to get wet if we can. Now we'll just toss some more in here. We're really loaded up there. quick, simple way of doing it. I don't want to make it too complicated. Stir them up a little bit. When you wipe them down with the reg's going to be saturated with this stuff from wiping on them. And it will put a coat on them. So if you think you're not getting all the sides, it's not all that important. There we go. And just get you another rag here. We'll wipe down the handles. See, it still keeps a layer of it on there. You can leave this stuff soaking in here if you wanted to for a long time. It wouldn't hurt a thing. Probably even be better, but I'm just showing you what I'm going to do with my tools here. Now, I don't use these tools for my primary tools. But boy, they are great to have around when you have that time when you need to beat on something, pry on something. And you know, you don't want to damage a good $60 set of screwdrivers or something like that. Some of these I'll probably toss out. I'll inspect them all when we get done. Anyway, that's what I plan on doing with all of them. I'm going to go ahead and clean the rest of them up, and then I'll give you a shot of what I decided to keep and what I decided not to. Imagine buying a screwdriver. You know, say you went out and bought one of these, it costs you $2 to $3, $4 or whatever it is, and you end up prying something with it and snapping the end of it or bending it, all because you have something that won't come out normally. You know, it's just slide it in and out. You need to give a little boost to it. But these work great. I keep these around because I can just throw them away when I'm done. Once I bend them and mess them up. Alright, I'll finish these up and we'll get back to it. Well, I finished up the rest of the tools. Got them all cleaned. Sprayed them. This is what we ended up with. Quite a haul for $15. They're not my primary tools. If I never use them for that. But they're great to have set back or just get into for those moments that you just have something either missing out one of your sockets or a wrench missing. Just a little bit of everything in here. You know, it's one of those things that's just nice to know that if you need to beat on something, you're not beating on your good tools. You know, say you take a wrench and you got a bolt here is really tight and you can't get it loose. You can always get your hammer, hit it, and knock it loose, and you're not beating on your good tools. That's why I like having a bucket full of these tools sitting around. I hope this helped you guys. Thanks for watching. What you doing, Bambi? Down there eating one of your treats while I'm doing all the work? Says, don't bother me. I'm busy.